Hi guys, this video is going to be on confidence, self-esteem, and how to get it if you don't already have it. If you're someone who is constantly feeling like you're not good enough, or if you're, calling yourself names like, "Ugh, why'd you do that? You're so stupid," or not even being able to look at yourself in the mirror and like what you're seeing. I remember, I couldn't even look in the mirror, and I couldn't tell myself I loved myself because I didn't love myself. And I found this today. It was actually, I don't know where the other page is, but why I started this channel. And I'm going to read a couple of the key points I have on here. The first one is to empower women, especially those with low self-esteem, to recognize their self-defeating behavior and to become the bad bitches they were meant to be. Another one is to help anyone who has issues with depression, anxiety, self-doubt, unhappiness, or feeling of not being fulfilled. I don't think I had ever really been happy with myself up until maybe a year or so ago. There's always some part about my body I wanted to change or I was not happy with. I was always confident when it came to school because I did well. I was always confident in my actions when it came to a professional realm, like school, college, now work. And I've noticed it a lot with, friends, coworkers, were these amazing, confident women in the workplace, but then in other areas of our life or our physical appearance were not confident at all. And so that's something I want to help others and find ways to be more confident, because now that I have confidence, it's amazing how many things I was limiting myself from. I smoked cigarettes from when I was 18 until just January of this year. So 12 years. And I never even tried to quit because I would tell myself, "You're weak, you're not going to be able to do that. You can't even go a few hours without a cigarette. How are you going to quit?" Another fear I had was that I was going to gain weight when I quit smoking, because my aunt had quit and she gained 40 pounds and then she started smoking again. And I've always had issues with my weight because I was made fun of in elementary school. And then when I was 13, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. So it kind of made sense then why I had a struggle with weight and not being able to lose weight as easily as other people. I just had a really slow metabolism. And once they started me on the Synthroid, I did lose some weight, but I still thought in my head that I was just so fat. And I think that's part of the reason why I started smoking in the first place, because I knew that it increased your heart rate and could make you lose weight. And that's the worst thing to say, but it's the truth. There was a quote I read a few months ago that kind of just hit me real hard. And I'm going to read it to you. It's, "Confidence comes naturally with success, but success only comes to those who are confident." And it is so true. If you think of anyone that you admire or an idol you have, and think about whether or not they're confident, they are, because they wouldn't have gotten to that place in their life to where other people admire them if they weren't. And it's what if that idol that I had you think of had never achieved the success that they have achieved today? What if, because they were depressed and didn't believe in themselves, they never tried the things they were so great at? like the world would be missing what they have to offer because they stopped themselves before they even started. And that's how I never really thought, oh my gosh, you can't be successful without being confident. And that's why people who like win the lottery, they end up spending all the money frivolously. I knew I was going to mess it up. They spend their money recklessly, and then a lot of them commit suicide because they thought that money was the only thing that money would equal happiness. And then when they got the money, they realized they were still unhappy. And I think, it is so important to have strong self-esteem and strong confidence. I always knew that I didn't have a healthy self-esteem, or I wasn't confident, but I didn't know how to become confident or have a good self-esteem. And then I had been on some sort of antidepressant from when I was 17 up until maybe a year ago. And it was very easy to just surrender to the disease and say, there's nothing I can do to change it. I'm just depressed. I'm just anxious. And, you don't realize that you can change that. And, one of the things, it's now that I have confidence, there are so many things that I want to do, and I'm finally so excited about life. For like the first time, I had always just felt so unfulfilled. And now that I believe in myself and have taken the time to really get to know myself and what I want, I'm so excited about life again. And I want to be able to maybe help someone who has problems with depression or anxiety get to the point that I've gotten to, because it's so much better. I just got to a point where I was tired of being depressed and just tired of being unhappy all the time. And I was determined to find a way to find what I was missing. So I'm going to talk about a few steps you can do that are to help build your confidence. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. Just like with anything else, it's going to take time and practice. Just like, with makeup, you're not going to be amazing overnight. It takes time and practice. And, I think a lot of people can kind of give up on it after maybe a couple days and be like, oh, this doesn't work. And it's, when you start saying good things to yourself, like you are worthy of love and respect, it feels at least for me, it felt very unnatural to say it. And it took time before I was able to finally believe it. So, I say self-esteem and confidence kind of interchangeably, but there are a little difference between them that I want to point out. So self-esteem refers to how you feel about yourself, how much self-love you have. And this is what develops from experiences or situations that have kind of shaped how you view yourself. When I was in elementary school and kids were making fun of me about my weight, that lowered my self-esteem because I had never seen myself as having a weight problem before someone else pointed it out to me. So then once I heard that, I was just looking for reasons to kind of prove that I was fat. And, that's, I think, a big part of where I lost my self-esteem. Self-confidence is how you feel about your ability to accomplish something. And it can vary from situation to situation. Like I was talking about before, there's these strong career women who have the greatest confidence in their professional life, but then when it comes to their personal or romantic life, they don't have any confidence. So, they feel confident in their abilities at work, but not in other areas of their life. So, all right, I'm going to go into a few steps that you can do to help build your confidence. Okay, the first one, in my opinion, the most important, I don't want to do that, is to get to know yourself, what you value, and what you want in life. And I know you're maybe like, I already know myself, because that was the way I thought too. But I really hadn't taken the time to really ask myself some difficult questions and find out what my values were, and what my strengths were, what my weaknesses were, and then start working on my weaknesses just to become a better person. And a few of the things I did to get to know myself better are, one thing, I got this book on Amazon. It's Start Where You Are, a journal for self-exploration. This and journaling in general is going to help you get to know yourself a lot, because there have been so many times where I've started to write things, and then I'll be writing something and I never even realized I felt that way until I started to write it. But your subconscious has a way of unleashing itself once you're writing. But so this is really good because I like it. On one side, it'll have like an empowering quote. When you lose, don't lose the lesson. Dalai Lama. And it says, think of something you lost recently. What are 2 positive insights you gained from the experience? And that helps you kind of to recognize that everything in life has a lesson. And just being able to pick yourself back up and move on is, a lesson in a lot of things. Okay. The wound is the place where the light enters you. And that's Rumi. What gives you light? And, for me, it was makeup, inspiring other women to love themselves, helping other people find love or personal growth and improving themselves. Music. And here's another one that's kind of like it has you list your passions and then goals that encourage, that encompass them. And then, so the quote is, you get to decide what to worship. David Foster Wallace. And then it has you circle the things you worship most. So these are your values, Some of the values important to me: love, friendship, beauty, strength, knowledge, success, books, honesty, music, confidence, imagination, laughter, family, travel. And then another, you don't have to get this, but this has helped me so much with confidence. It's a law of attraction planner. It's really neat because it has like the 7 wonders of the world down here at the bottom, and law of attraction, and then it's rose gold. I love anything rose gold. But the first step is, there's my schedule. Awareness and self-discovery. Then you make a mission and vision statement, set big goals, create a vision board, make a clear strategy, take action, feel good, manifest fast, reflect and celebrate. So, but one of the first things that it has you do is ask these questions. Like, what am I happy about in my life right now? What am I proud about in my life right now? What am I grateful about in my life right now? And then it has affirmations for, I'm moving ahead of myself. I'll come back to this. Anyways, so just to get to know yourself. And I couldn't find it, but I wrote down a list of my values, and then also what I'm looking for in a partner. I'm not dating anyone right now, but it's good to have it written down because, and I'm not talking about physical qualities, like maybe 2 out of 10 should be physical. The rest should be about who they are as a person. And you can't know what you want in another person until you know what you really value. So that's why it's important to do this and to get to know yourself. All right, so the next step is to recognize your inner critic and stop negative thoughts. You kind of have to take an inventory of your thoughts, and when you recognize you're saying something hurtful, like, oh, I can't believe you did that, you're so stupid, you're an idiot, you say stop it, say no, I'm not going to let you control my mind anymore. And once you recognize them, then you're able to stop them and replace them with positive. So that's where the positive affirmations come in. You have to look at ones, when you are trying to pick out positive affirmations, you're going to want to pick ones that you want to feel that way. And some of my favorite ones are, the past has no power over me anymore. I'm a Cancer, so we can tend to be like focused on the past way too much. I focus on progress and decide to let go of perfection. I am patient with myself and others. I give up the habit of criticizing myself. All is well. I love myself and I like myself. I am separated from my depression. I let go of fear. I love and approve of myself. So, and then you can also, what I did was I Googled positive affirmations, and there's a lot on there that I like that I'm not finding here. Like some of my other favorite ones are, I radiate beauty, charm, and grace. And I release any desperation and allow love to find me. You know, we can kind of form these unhealthy attachments to who we think we're supposed to be. I definitely thought that by 30 I would be married and have a family. And you know, I was looking at things I didn't have instead of being grateful for the things that I do have. But now that I have found this confidence and this renewed love for life again, it's like I am not even ready for kids right now because there are so many things I want to do. Okay, so the next step is to appreciate yourself and recognize your accomplishments. So that's another thing that this has you do in here. You have to, like this one, when you're creating, this is more awareness and self-discovery. Here's the values what do I want to experience in life if time and money were not an issue? How do I want to grow? What do I want to contribute to this world? And what is most important in my life? What do I value the most? What am I most passionate about? And I wrote positivity, loving myself and personal development, confidence, true personality, honesty, determination, personal growth, humor, family, friendship, and then what do others most admire in me? What unique gift do I share with the world? What are my top 5 values? Ask 5 people that know you well. And I did do that. I asked 5 people that I knew well, that I trusted, and they told me confidence, beauty, creativity, honesty, dedication, independence, and sense of humor. And then it has you list what are your top 10 achievements in life. And for the achievements thing, you should really be, like I think when I was talking about journaling, another thing you should do when you're journaling is write like 2 accomplishments just every night. Like, I am a loving friend or parent, or I am a good listener. It doesn't have to be something big. You just have to acknowledge yourself and your accomplishments and, recognize what you do good instead of always focusing on mistakes you've made. Okay, the next step. Replace perfectionism. Focus on progress. Like the one affirmation I was saying. I let go of perfection and focus on progress. And this was something I really had to work on because I could be such a perfectionist. But when your goal is perfection, you're just setting yourself up to fail because no one is perfect. And if that's what your goal is, you're never going to achieve it. Be kinder to other people and show love and eye contact. That when you have confidence, you are going to look at people and make eye contact. And even if it doesn't feel natural to you right now, start doing it. And just like everything, it'll become more natural the more you do it. But you'll notice if you pay attention to people who make eye contact with you and who don't, people who don't make eye contact with you are not comfortable with themselves. It has nothing to do with you and them not wanting to recognize you. So, but then also, just when you give love, you're going to receive love back. When you're a good person, you're going to get good back. And this also has some things you can do to just feel better and increase your emotional vibration. Here's the giving back part. Give 5 compliments to others. I've had days where I just seemed like everything was going wrong, and then one person will give me a compliment, and it just makes my day, like I just forget about anything that was bothering me. And you don't know when someone else may need that. So it's incredible how much just giving a compliment will make another person's day much better. Give somebody a hug. Practice acts of kindness. Practice self-love. Talk positive to yourself. Read out positive affirmations. Smell a flower. Watch funny movies. Have great sex. I just noticed that. That's funny. But all those things, when you give love, it makes you feel better, and then you're going to receive love back. Okay. Next step, and a huge one. Stop comparing. The only person you should be comparing yourself with is yourself. And it's so hard, I think especially for women, to not do this. But if you keep comparing yourself to others, it's never going to stop, because there's always going to be someone who is better at something than you. They're always going to have more in something than you. You have to learn to be happy with yourself, flaws and all, and stop comparing yourself to other people, because you might say, oh, they have, a tiny stomach and perfect thighs, but they may not be happy with their thighs. You don't know. It's just a bad habit to have, because you will just never live up to what you think is perfect. And especially, it's also good to try and limit social media interaction, because we see all these beautiful women on Instagram and Facebook, and we can tend to start comparing ourselves to them, and it just breaks down your self-esteem and your confidence. You just have to learn to be happy the way you are and love yourself. And if I could go back and tell my younger self anything, it would just be to love yourself. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about you. It's the way you think about yourself, and love yourself, because you're going to be so much happier. And, I just hope that this will inspire some of you to maybe just stop with the negative and critical voice and just say, stop, I'm done. I'm done being unhappy. I'm done being depressed. I'm done being anxious. I'm going to change this, because you do have the power to change it. And if you don't get anything else from this video, I want it to be that you have the power to change your, anything about yourself. It's just going to take practice and time, and it's once you love yourself and know what you want, everything else is going to fall into place, I promise. Oh, there's one more thing I want to say. I think I'm going to do like a whole video on it actually, but it's going to be to set goals. That's another thing that in this planner it has you do. I didn't even realize some of the things I wanted to do until I made this list. And only 3% of the population writes goals. So I had to write 50 goals, but once I finally did, I was like, oh my gosh, I had never admitted to myself that, I wanted some of these things. I just always thought they were so unrealistic. But if you don't set big goals, then you're not going to achieve big things. So make your goals as crazy as you want. And I am going to do a video on how to set goals in specific time frames. But anyways, I hope this video helps anyone, and I will see you guys later. Oh, wait. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, please, if you want some more videos on confidence and loving yourself. All right, bye guys.